Wayne, Matt has shot off to watch next week's opponents, Bristol Rovers, so you're back in the hot seat. Welcome back. Matt said last week, and in the week actually, that everyone in the squad needs to stand up and be counted. They certainly did that today.
They certainly did. We called for reaction in the week from the players after the last two results, and I thought they showed today that they can bounce back from the negative results we've had in the last week or so. Giovanni
Brown, I don't think there was a cooler head in the stadium today. 2 superb penalties and a hat-trick to top off what was a wonderful performance from him.
Yeah, he thoroughly deserved it. He played a different role today from what he has done. He wasn't right up top with Sam. He was playing just in behind Sam and Jay. And I thought he took up that mantle really, really well. I thought the dynamic in midfield with Archie and Raheem sort of linking the play from the back, and then Giovanni finishing it off the top end was excellent.
Got off the mark early, just 6 minutes. We went early, we went hard, and to be 3-0 up at half time was certainly a contrast to the performance we saw from the players last week.
Yeah, different type of game than the games we've had the last week or so with Shrewsbury and Burton. They've been sort of more physical games and probably more direct. We understand that Forest Green, they like to play the ball, and it's probably more tactical game. So we'd worked across the week on how we counter that, and we said about it from the first minute, and as you say, we got them in the back foot with that goal and just carried on from there.
11 10 out of 10 performances I think out there today, but that front three today, Giovanni, Sam and Jay, they were unstoppable, unbeatable, and you've got to say it's probably one of the best all-round performances of the season.
Yeah, they worked their socks off, saying the guys on the TV there that the clean sheet was everyone's, because in the second half we sort of shifted what we were doing a little bit. We didn't feel we had to go and chase the game. Forest Green needed to come to us, and we just sort of adapted it, and the front three took on the information really well at half time. They carried the work through from the week, and they've done a fantastic shift for the team out of possession. Then in possession they score their goals and they set things up, so they've done their job.
So I was just laughing at MJ ducking behind you.
He didn't have to duck, did he?
Wow.
Sorry, MJ.
Having conceded from set pieces the last few goals, we look defensively solid from those positions today.
Yeah, Scott's worked really hard with the guys across the week. Matt's had his input on it as well, with regards to maybe different people in different positions to sort of counter any strengths we're missing because of the likes of Sam Stubbs, Czech Diabate not being in the team. And I thought they'd done a really good job with it today.
And we already know what a great player is, but I think we saw the very best of Archie Collins today, and Raheem Harper as well. They both not just held up play, but played the ball into space, created space. Superb central midfield pair.
Yeah, I think, again, different game, probably a bit more space and not as physical, but I did think they controlled the midfield physically as well. I thought they landed on things really well. They tidied the ball when they were under pressure, and then when we had the opportunity to play it, they played, and they showed for the ball. They moved bodies around, they got on it, and they broke lines, whether it was travelling with the ball or making passes. I thought they were both excellent today.
When you're leading convincingly at half time, often players can fall foul of taking their foot off the gas in the second half and maybe taking risks because the score's so convincing, but the players didn't do that today. They just continued to look for more goals.
That doesn't happen when you got Matt Taylor as your manager. I can say that there was stern words at half time, just to make sure that wouldn't be the case, because obviously we're very cognizant of what happened at Shrewsbury, and once sort of Matt had outlined that what he wanted and expected with regards to that performance second half, then we set about just coming up with a plan to make sure that we kept ourselves in the game and then tried to push through and score again.
After that Shrewsbury game, when we found ourselves 2-0 up, was anything spoken about that today, perhaps at half time, considering what happened that game?
No, I think when that happens, you don't need to mention it. I think it's at the forefront of everyone's mind that it could happen again. We talked at half time about being bloody minded and stubborn to make sure that we come out and we won the second half, not just the first half. So I think in a sort of roundabout way you're alluding to those types of things, but we don't tend to reflect on those too much because we want to keep the players nice and positive at half time.
A word on Jay Stansfield again. He worked his socks off today, and you've got to say that assist for Giovanni's goal was unbelievable.
It was brilliant. That's what Jay's going to bring. He brings it every day in training. He brings energy, but he always also brings quality, and I think it's only a matter of time before he starts getting on the score sheet himself. But again, for the team, he is so selfless in his work and how he goes about his business. It's a real pleasure to work with him.
How much more pleasing is that clean sheet, given the defensive issues in terms of availability that we've seen in the last few weeks?
Yeah, it's a makeshift back three. Obviously, Alex and Pearce have played in the back three. Joyce Keys played in there, but I think with regards to sort of our best back three, I don't think many people would put that down. But again, I thought they went about their business really well today. Matt's very clear in what he wants and expects from and I think that filters through. They're very clear and decisive today and how they went about the business.
And Jamal, he didn't have a lot to do today, but when he did, a superb double save at this end. I think it was Alex Hartridge that cleared it off the line. I was at the other end, so it's quite difficult to see. But
the big moments in the game. You know, Jamal didn't have a huge amount to do, but when he needed to do something, he done it, and he done a brilliant job of it. And that's what he's in there to do. He makes big saves for us. He's a big presence there for us. And when he was called upon today, he stood up to be counted. I haven't seen the saves back, but from the sideline, there was, in my mind, I thought one of them was a certain goal, and next thing, a big hand come out of nowhere to it. So yeah, I look forward to watching those back.
I know Matt alluded to it that he perhaps wouldn't get game time, but for Pedro and for Harrison King to be on the bench today, it's a big moment for them. It's more first team experience being in and around that setup for some of the academy players.
It's absolute exposure for them. They could have been playing probably against Forest Green's under 18s today, but today they're sat watching the first team and watching the victory. So that's experience that you can't buy, you can't get that anywhere else. You actually have to do it. It's real world experience. So it's brilliant for them too today, and hopefully that inspires them to go away, work harder and push their way through at some point.
And the most important thing now is following up on this result and making sure we put in a similar, if not, well, even better performance against Bristol Rovers next week.
The fact the manager here tells you how serious he's taking the next game as well. It'll be a tough game. They've been doing okay as well, so we'll do our homework like we normally do. We'll have a good week's work. It's nice to have a clear week where we can get Monday, Tuesday, and then Thursday, Friday we can get some good work in, and we'll look forward to it. We'll go there with confidence.
Thanks a lot, Wayne.
Cheers, thank you.